Hello guys, and welcome to my second video. This is called My Favorite Champion, Kha'zix by LoLDoatar. Now, in this game I do pretty well. I go 17-2. This is a Gold League ranked game, and I'm duo queuing with Eve, and we both stomp it pretty hard. We run the Eve and Kha'zix comp. The reason why we run this is simply because it's quite a strong comp, because you're both assassins and you can both just nuke the AD carry, and you can carry ranked games along with this comp simply because you can nuke the AD carry very easily. Now, start of this game, you get the Lee Sin. He catches us out of the invade, but I think the Blitzcrank still goes in for it, which is quite shocking. As you can see, he goes around the side. There's the Karthus, and he flashes immediately, so I know I had a massive advantage in lane already. And then we get into a bit of a mess here. It's a bit of a messy fight, but no first blood was given, so that was all good. Right, so that was the introduction to the video. Now I'd like to say why I like Kha'zix. Now, Kha'zix, in my opinion, is a very versatile champion. He does a lot of burst damage. He has a lot of potential for ganks and roaming. He can farm pretty well, even though he is a melee champion. He can still farm very well. I also think that he has a lot of potential just to nuke the AD carrier and jump back out again. That's halfly why I play him. And he's just generally a fun champion to play. I love reset champions. That's sort of my play style. And Kha'zix is definitely one of these champions. So that's why I like Kha'zix. Plus also Kha'zix as well. The only problem with Kha'zix is if you fail early game, you're not going to do well in the mid and late game. But if you're fine, then if you get a couple of kills, this is one thing I do like, is that you can constantly keep snowballing and keep killing the opponents and make them pretty much useless. So when they get into a team fight, they're just going to be like completely useless. Anyway, yes. So that's why I like Kha'zix, and some people might disagree with some of the things I said, but at the same time, most of the things I'm going to say in this clip is what happens in the game. Is pretty much, there's examples of what I say quite often in the video, so I hope you notice those examples, and I'll try and point them out if I do see one. Right, now this is a replay from a ranked game, and it went pretty well. I died to a Karthus ultimate towards the mid game, and I then died right at the end against the Lee Sin because it was the end of the game. I just couldn't be bothered to try and stop it from killing me. So yeah, I also like Kha'zix because against champions like, for instance, this Karthus, quite squishy lanes, he can be so dominant against them, because as you can see here, I've got him down to half health already, and it's just so easy for me just to keep going at him. And the Vi comes here, and as an example, I can already burst her down a little bit, so when she goes back to her jungle, she's on a quarter of her health, which gives her a bit of a disadvantage, especially as she's probably used a good half of her pots already, so she's not going to be able to last as long in jungle as she would have. So that's another reason why I like Kha'zix. Also, he can escape from ganks very well, so that's also a really good thing to have in a champion, because a lot of the time, especially in top lane, you'll be going a bit too aggressive, and then their jungler comes, and you have to either pop a flash, or you have to, it's just ridiculous. When you could, if you're Kha'zix, just very simply just jump out of there. It's just perfect. Same with champions like Katarina and stuff like that. They can just leap out of a gank and it's all fine, and they don't have to worry as much about ganks as other champions do. Okay, what led me to playing Kha'zix? Well, Kha'zix, I was watching the LCS, and Kha'zix was a pretty good looking champion, and I was watching Alex Ish, and he got a quadra kill, I think, on Kha'zix. And I just loved the fact that he could just do all those constant resets, and it just looked so good. It looked fantastic, just the way he constantly did all those. I think he got a pentakill actually. he constantly did all his leaps and resets, and I just thought, this is one fun-looking champion. Bro, I mean, I have played him before, but I never really looked into him as much as I have now. And it's turned out that Kha'zix is literally the best champion that I play, and also it's the funnest to play, in my opinion. It's just a really fun champion, and I recommend it to everyone else who is trying to climb up in ranked, because Kha'zix can carry games quite well, because you can just burst their AD carry down and snowball a lane really hard, and that means then that the opponent in your lane is going to be useless, and you're going to be really strong. And when you're really strong as Kha'zix, you can actually nuke anyone you want, so that's really nice. I went into Kha'zix simply because of the resets on him, and just Alex Ish just getting that pentakill, and it just looked so good, and I just thought, I wish I could play that champion just as well as he did, and I thought, right, let's go for it. And then ever since, I've been learning how to play Kha'zix, and now I've been using him in ranked, and I've pretty much won most of my games. I think I've only lost twice in ranked, 3 or 2 times as in ranked, and I've won every other game. So I think I've played about a good 10 games now, and only lost about 2 or 3, so that's pretty good. Okay, why I think he's strong in solo queue, and by the way, I prepared a bunch of questions, so Jobiella, I've got something to talk about. So he's strong in solo queue because, as I said, he can dominate lanes really well. Not only that, but he can really easily nuke a target. He can get out of ganks really easily, so you won't end up feeding. He's just, in general, he's just fun to play. Like, I think you can't climb solo queue unless you actually enjoy the games that you're playing, because if you get in a mood in solo queue and get really moody in ranked, and that's all you do is just get moody at the game, and you just flame and rage all the time, you will literally go nowhere, because you're constantly getting angry and you will never learn from stupid things that you've done, and you can't see the stupid things you do because you're angry. It's just general stuff, really. People, when they're angry, don't pay attention to things as they would if they were just chilled and happy. They don't pay as much attention to things, and I think that's why people sort of slip in solo queue, because especially in the lower leagues like Silver and Bronze League, which I've just got out of, I've noticed that in every game that I've been in, there's always one guy who just loses his temper on the enemy team or on our team, and they just flame and they play really badly and they just fall for really bad stuff. Like, I've done some really like derpy plays and they fell for them, and that's just because, and then they start raging over the chat, and that's simply because they're raging, you know. It's, if they rage, they just keep raging, then, you know, can't really do much. Like, if they rage, then they're gonna lose the game because they're just not focusing on their play. They're just getting angry over the game. That's not a good attitude to have. Let me just tell you that. I mean, I may be gold 4 now. I'm gold 4, but I may be only gold rating, and probably a lot of people here are just going, he's only gold, doesn't really matter. His opinion doesn't matter. Well, actually, I used to be a flaming noob. I used to be bronze 4, is when I started. Well, but my first rank in season 2 was bronze, and season 1 was bronze, and the start of season 3 was bronze 4. And I was like, I was pretty much thinking, oh yeah, it's never my fault, it's the teammates' fault. Flame my teammates, you know, do it, just flame everyone because they don't know what they're doing, stuff like that. This is pointless. And that right here, you can see Kha'zix, how versatile he is. I get ganked, and then I kill her immediately, and she's dead. I can just get away easy, flash over the wall. This is when I die. It's the Kha'zix is so, I mean the Kha'zix is just so lazy and so easy to play. You just have to press R and get to kill. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. That's the only moment I die, actually, on purpose. Well, not on purpose, but sorry, not on purpose. And then the rest of the time, I think at the end I just couldn't be bothered just to get out of the queue off the Lee Sin, so this can't be asked. So I just died anyway, because I knew we were going to win the game anyway. And by the way, that Udyr, by the way, really strong. So if you're going to get the skin, do get it, because Udyr top lane is actually surprisingly strong. And I played it earlier today, and it was really strong. Anyway, back to what I was saying about flaming, like flaming people and stuff. So as I say, if you flame, you're going to get worse at the game. And this is not aimed for the gold-rated players. Well, it is for the low-end gold-rated players, like me. And it's aimed mainly for silver and bronze players who think they're good enough, and they might not be, but they don't do anything to improve on themselves. All they do is rage. So I was bronze 4, as I said, and around January I thought, like, why am I this ranking and I'm friends with like platinum players? I thought, I think I should definitely try and improve on myself. So I went through a couple of weeks of just looking at my replays, just thinking, oh, that was terrible, why did I do that? I learned quite a bit, and then I had the mindset where I never blamed teammates. Like, everything was pretty much my fault. And also, I also had the mindset of, if this is a really good sort of thing to have, if you think that, don't say that you made really good plays, because then you'll just think you're good, and if you're not, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you say you've done some really good plays and you outplayed him, then you're not going to learn at all. You're just going to think that you're good, and then when something bad does happen, you're just going to blame your teammates or anything else that's possible to blame, and then that'll excuse you from that fault you did. So always think in the mindset that you didn't make a good play. You simply just, the opponent was stupid enough to fall for what you did. So if I jump and nuke an AD carry, I don't say, oh yeah, it's because I'm so good at the game. I just say, but that guy there, he just gets caught out. I don't say, oh, I'm so pro. I say, but he was really stupid because he just stood there and did nothing, and he kind of sensed the Eve was nearby. You know, why would he do that? You know, just think like that, because then that way you won't go, oh yeah, well, I'm good at the game anyway, so I don't have to learn anything. If you're Diamond League, then you don't have to think like that, because you're Diamond, you know? It's fair enough. But if you're low Platinum and Gold League and whatnot, don't think, you know, think like that, because in that way you'll learn a bit more. Right, so tips and tricks for amateur players. Okay. This is for Kha'zix, and this is also just for general solo queue and just for normal games, really. As I said before, you must have that mindset. That mindset will make you learn a lot. Trust me. I mean, I've gone from bronze 4 and bronze in every season straight to gold already, and it's not even halfway in the season yet. So I'm hopefully gonna get to platinum. I'm constantly going, yeah, I gotta do this. I gotta play ranked every day. I'm gonna keep playing. I don't play LoL as much as I used to. I've sort of got more like normal things to do now, but at the moment there's not much at all, which I just keep playing LoL if I can and whatnot. And then this guy's stupid, falls for it, just fell for it. I didn't make a play, Eve didn't make a play, neither of us made a play, simply because that guy was stupid enough to be in the lane at the time. And plus I'm Kha'zix and I'm fed, so why is he going to be in the lane like that close to me? I could have killed me anyway. I just could have nuked him. Now, this is one of the reasons why we do the Eve and Kha'zix comp in ranked games. And you're about to see this. This is how we do things. This is the Ultimate Assassin combination. Now, there's the bot lane there, and we have Eve there, and then there's me. I'm just waiting around, doing nothing really. And we ask bot to go straight in. They go in. Kha'zix dive, dead. And then, yeah, sadly Blitzcrank dies, but I think we're a bit too deep in there, but oh, that was fine. But that's what I mean, like, 2 assassins just jumping in like that, you just can't deal with it really. It's really hard to deal with it. So yeah, that's why I recommend that to other players. Oh, look, there's Vi. Again, she decides to try and fight me. I'm Kha'zix, you know. And then Carver's walls, that's for big. Nah, it's not worth it. So do we both go back at the same time? Also, okay, other tips and tricks. So I'm going off on the same things all the time. Other tips and tricks. I think that you should do the tactic of you should dominate your lane really hard. If you want to win and climb up in ranked, you need to pretty much always win your lane and don't die. Whatever, like even if you have to flash in the most pointless reasons, just don't die. You know, just do anything you can to not die. Simple as that, really. Because then that way, that's less of a chance of them actually going to get you. That was stupid of Violet. She just did a little one, not like a whole Q charge, just a little one. I'm sorry for the player which is watching this and probably thinking I'm a bit of a dick, but come on, man, that was pretty obvious, you know. Anyway, now other tips. You should never die. You should always dominate the lane, because if you dominate the lane, the opposing laner is going to be really useless because he's just been killed too many times. And also psychologically, people that can't, if you get constantly killed, even in games like the most unskilled games like Call of Duty and other things like that, when you die, you get so angry or you get so annoyed in your head, and you just want to get them back. You know, you just want to kill them again, and you want to try and fight them back, try and get a kill back on them, so then the lane's balanced. You should not try and do this. The reason why you shouldn't is because you'll just be too aggressive and you'll fail. At the end of the day, you will fail the game because you're just constantly going in on them and they've got a kill ahead of you and they're probably equal CS. So they're just going to go in and kill you, and you're not going to be able to stop them. You know, and they're just going to keep killing you. If you try and go in for them, they're just going to keep chomping away at you, and they're going to do the tactic which I'm telling you to do. So, yeah, it's pretty much like that. It works. If you do that, it's going to annoy people, and people are just going to play worse. If people keep dying and they get annoyed at the game, they just play worse. That's why when you see Dyrus and you see players like that, they are just so like, they're just like robots, you know, like. People say they have like no emotions and they're robots, and they do have emotions, but they learn to control them when playing ranked, because they know if they keep cool then they'll win games more, because simply they're just got a cool, they're just fine. Dyrus is so chilled. I've never really seen Dyrus angry. The only time I've seen any emotion in Dyrus is when he cries when Chaos is going away because he left the team, and also when he's playing I think it's Slender and Amnesia, and he gets really scared. But I mean, even then it was just it was barely a scream. It wasn't really anything, you know. It wasn't barely anything really. So, you know, so that's why these top end players are such high ranking. Is because one, they're good players anyway. I mean, they have some tremendous skill cap. But also the fact that they don't get annoyed at the game, and also, to be fair, it is just a game, and probably most people that are going to watch this, you're not going to become pro. Just saying, because even if you are a challenger player, you won't become pro unless you're in a challenger team. So you need to get a team first. I mean, it's more likely to be in a team if you're a challenger, but still, you know, you're not going to become pro if you are just challenger. You have to have a challenger team. Also, I will say this as well. If you do become pro, you also got to take into consideration that you might only last in one term of the LCS. You might not last the next season of it, you know. So you just have to be careful, I suppose, about what you want to do. Personally, I don't really want to do the LCS. If I ever got the chance to become pro, it would be a nice feeling to be a pro, but I don't think I would. I think I'd go to the gaming events and go to like Insomnia and places like that and compete in the small like tournaments, but I'd never want to do LCS. Unless I pass uni and I was fine with my grades and I could just go back and try and seek some work in the UK again, then I'd do it. But not halfway through, you know, education, because if you quit it and then you end up losing in the LCS, you're not going to do very well, put it that way, unless you're very lucky, because the world's very competitive at the moment. Now, as I was saying, that's my insight on pro players. Now, so amateur players, also, you should, I know I'm only gold, but you should I think a good thing that I did was duo queue and try and find someone, even if it's a friend of, well, it should be a friend of yours, or even if it's some guy on the internet who's really nice, or some random person, just try and find a really good player, because this Eve here is a really good player, and he's a good friend of mine, and we both carry ranked games. If you duo queue with someone that you can rely on, and you know that they'll win their lane, then you have more, and then you're more likely to actually win. When the only reason why I'm so confident in these tips is simply because I went through Silver 1 and Riot decided to cap me with a new capping system that they've inputted into the new ranked system, which is when if you win and lose so many promotions. I have been in promotions to gold about 4 times. I failed all of them until the last one. And then what happened is sadly they decided to cap me, so I only got about 8 points per win and lost about 5 per loss, and that can become quite tedious, especially if you're constantly winning and losing. So I thought, right, let's just learn how to play one champion. I learned Kha'zix and Karma, and my Rise is fairly good as well. And I played those and only those, and I won with my friend, the current Eve player. I won, I think it was 12 games in a row, and that then got me into promotions. I got to 75 league points, then I lost 2, so I won 12, got to 75, and then I won an extra 5 in a row, and then I was in promotion. Won all 3 of my promo games along with him, and then I'm gold. And from then on, I've been climbing my way up through gold, and I've actually found it surprisingly easy. This is an example of why you play Kha'zix and Eve, simply because you can both stealth and get away with literally anything. So that's why. Okay, my build on Kha'zix. Now, first of all, over any other boot, take Mercury Treads. The reason why you take Mercury Treads is simply because in Kha'zix's ultimate, it's so strong, and if you get pinned down, your slows are going to be less anyway. Now this is an example of why you play Kha'zix. This Vi goes for me with everything. I get away with no health, I know, but I still kill her. And that's the sort of power you have with a champion like Kha'zix. This is why I play him a lot, because you can nuke someone and win most trades. As long as they're not tanky, you can win any trade you want. So that's why I play Kha'zix. Anyway, back to my build. It's just that point of the video was me like killing Vi, so I wanted to just go to that. Anyway, Merc Treads, because it's got tenacity, which makes you less vulnerable to CC. The Black Cleaver. The reason why I take Black Cleaver is because, well, it's just general. Like on Kha'zix, it's just so strong on him, you know. With Kha'zix, it just destroys, you know. It's just so strong, and it gives you a bit of health to survive. Not much, I know, but it gives you a little bit. It's better than nothing and whatnot. And it's just a strong item anyway. Next, I take a Last Whisper. Well, I don't take it that early on, but I'm just going to go by what I've typed in on the Word document. I then take a Last Whisper. The reason why I take Last Whisper is because you have that extra armor pen to burst down the AD carry. Because if they get a GA, then you can just burst them down anyway, so it's fine. Watch this, Assassination, and then leap again. Do enough damage, my team can pick up the kill. I stealth, so now I don't take as much damage. Oh, I don't yet, actually. I don't have the evolved yet. Oh well. I stealth anyway, just in case like I get pinned down by Lee or Vi. and then whatnot, stuff like that. Anyway, I think we turn the fight round here actually. I think, yep, as Lee Sin goes in, I just flashed to get the assist because I thought we've won this, you know. Let's do some random crap, and then yeah, Mortius saves me as part of my build, and I'll say why I include it because it's such a good item, especially if you're going in mid lane. This leads back into the build. Right, Mortius, I take that next. The reason why I take Mortius is because one, it saves you from Karthus ultimate. That's for one. Second is the fact that Mortius allows you to survive a lot than you would expect to survive. So that's really nice. And it's just generally, if you're on low health and you can just, if you get the resets and you're quick enough and they're on low health, you can still assassinate all of them and get away with it. Especially if you're ultimate. I evolve my ultimate. Now, I get a mirror mana, but I take a Tear of the Goddess early. The reason why I take that, obvious, Kha'zix has quite high mana costs early game. So the idea is that and he uses so many abilities, especially to trade with. So if you have that, you can spam your spells without having to worry about your mana. And you don't need as many blue buffs, especially if you're playing top lane. You kind of need it. So they don't get the blue buffs. Lee Sin kicks me away, I think, in this point. Yep. And it shows the power of a Kha'zix ultimate. 2 ultimates, I still get out the fight. I just still get out. So that's perfect. Now, my final item, and this is why more of my Mortis comes in handy. Bang, no damage. Anyway, now a Guardian Angel is my final item. Reason why is because Kha'zix is that sort of champion which you don't really need to be tanky. Being fair, all you need is a bit of MR and armor, and you're good to go. And then you just have a revive, and then you can leap out of the fight. And he's so stealthy and sneaky anyway, and he does so much damage that you don't need a Warmox. You just want GA just so that you can just nuke them again when you revive, or you can just get away really easily, and just a bit of armor. And it's just nice to have. And it also GA, for some reason everyone thinks it's so scary. Like if you see like an AD carry and a mid lane and a top lane all with GA, people just don't want to fight you. They just get so scared of you, even though it's only a revive and a bit of armor and MR. People just get scared of you, especially in lower league games, because they think, oh, he's got a revive, let's not go for him. And actually, they're really easy to kill. So I don't know why, but it's just good anyway. It's just like what people think of things. Now, this is why you also play Eve and Kha'zix comp. Watch this as me and Eve decide to trash them all. Eve ultimate goes down, target the Janna straight away, and I leap onto her dead. I think I get a quadra kill right here. I kill the Vi, kill him, and then I just sneak up and burst him down, and I get a quadra kill. If the Lee Sin went a bit more ham, I could have killed him as well. Anyway, and I got a pentakill. Well, I hope I did. But I didn't. I wish I did. Anyway, now my runes and masteries. My runes are Armor Pen Reds, Armor Seals, Magic Resist Glyphs, and Attack Damage Quints. Reason why is because Armor Pen Reds, so you can get so much armor penetration, especially in mid lane. They're not going to have much armor unless they predict your Kha'zix and they preset the runes, especially against AD mids. And in top lane, people will build armor anyway, so you can still shred their armor down anyway, which is perfect. I then take armor seals, so if they're a top lane, I can survive, and against minions, I can survive better. Magic resist, because some top lanes have magic damage thingies. They have AD scaling magic damage. Sadly, the Ezreal gets this kill, otherwise I would have had another quadra kill. And anyway, and then I take the attack damage quint simply because you need a bit of AD, otherwise you're not going to be that strong early game at all. It'll be pretty crap. Okay, now masteries 2190. Kha'zix is quite versatile, and this is why I take more of my Mortius. It's lovely. Anyway, that's why you take masteries like that. Is because then you just have a lot of offense. Kha'zix doesn't need as much defense. He's got his leap, he's got his ultimate to get out of it. He's got his void spike heals. It's perfect. Now, Now, after this video, I want to say about my future videos on my channel. By future videos, I'm going to be doing a series on my ranked solo queue plays journey to Platinum and Diamond League. This is what did this be kind of an episode of that. This is a ranked game. Also, I would like to do a series just on my own personal LOL random moments. I see a lot of random stuff happen that's really funny, and I wish other people could see it, but I just haven't found a way until now. So I decided I'm going to make every week, I'm going to try and upload an episode of it, of just random stuff that's happened in my days of League that are just really funny. So I want to do that for you guys. I'm going to be doing also a series on my ranked 5 team, and also the ranked 5 team will give tips in my videos about how to play properly in ranked and stuff like that, really. So you guys, if you are amateur ranked teams, are able to pick up some advice from us and just play better in League. I'm going to be doing a series on every time a new champion comes out. I'm going to be doing a little champion spotlight, my own personal champion spotlight, what I think of them, why I choose them, what sort of build I put on them, and etc., and how I think they're going to adapt into League. Okay, and my final set of videos is going to be just my own general stuff, really, just anything I really want to put on. Like, this is another sort of introduction to me personally, and my favourite champion is Kha'zix, just so then you guys get some sort of, you know, some sort of info really on what I'm like as a player, and if you want to add me in game, then you're literally free to do so. If you can have some games, have some fun, it'd be pretty cool, you know. I'm quite a chilled player, and I enjoy playing with literally anyone, as long as you don't fail my ranked games and feed. I'm completely fine with you. If you don't flame, I'm completely fine with you. And also, I forgot to mention, I'll also be doing a series on the LCS and pro players, and what I think of the LCS currently, really, and stuff like that. Just seriously, what I think of pro players, what I think of that pro player. Say, like for instance, Edward joined Team Curse. I found that very shocking. I think Edward's a great player, but I don't think he's going to be able to adapt to Team Curse, in my opinion. I think Curse has a completely different playstyle to Edward. I don't think that he goes well alongside them. I think that's a bad choice, personally. But yeah, that's their choice, not mine. So anyway, yeah, and that's all my plans. So now, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. It'll be much appreciated, as I am very new to YouTube, and it'll be really nice. I'm going to keep giving some updates for you guys. And this is when I die to Lee Sims. It's a pretty sad moment, but whatever, I don't really care. But thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and I will be releasing a lot more new content very soon. Please like and subscribe.